Fred Richani of TSC News with Scott Anderson on the line. We're here to rapidly recap WWE Monday Night Raw. The big news, we had a fatal four-way match for the vacant WWE Universal title. For those that don't know, Finn Balor won the title at SummerSlam to become the first ever Universal Champion, but unfortunately, the poor guy had to vacate his title due to a shoulder injury, a torn labrum, out 6 months thanks to a buckle bomb to the barricade from Seth Rollins. We had a couple matches, actually about 4 matches, that set up this fatal four-way tonight. August 29th, 2016. It was yet another new era in Raw. This time, it is the era of KO Kevin Owens. Before we get to that, let's see how we got there. We had a kick-ass match. They changed it earlier in the night to an elimination match. Crowd was going nuts. Kevin Owens was the favorite all throughout the night to this Houston, Texas crowd, a great wrestling city. Surprisingly to me, Big Cass got eliminated first. He was knocked down by Seth, then frog splash by Owens. 1, 2, 3. That was it for Big Cass. After a while, I'd say about, Scott, 10 to 15 minutes? These guys just duked it out, kicked each other's asses. I mean, this was an intense match. Crowd loved it. We loved it. And finally, at the end, after all these near falls, Superman punches, drive-by kicks, the cannonballs from Kevin Owens, the pedigree attempts and super kicks by Seth Rollins, the spear on Seth Rollins outside. Who should come out? Triple H came out in his Dana White gear, pedigreed Roman Reigns, threw Roman Reigns back in the ring, threw Seth in the ring, said, pin him, pin him. 1, 2, 3, Roman Reigns is eliminated.
And can I interrupt real quick?
Sure.
The greatest part about this is the face got eliminated, and the crowd cheered it like it was no joke because Triple H helped get Roman Reigns eliminated.
Yeah.
I think it's official that they just can't do it as a face anymore because there's no way.
I hope you're right.
So I just want to mention.
I seriously hope you're right, dude. It was crazy. What a crazy scene this was. It was just so Seth pins Roman. The final two are Owens and Rollins. So Owens gets thrown into the ring by Triple H. He picks up Owens. And I like this because it wasn't one of those stupid things where it looks like he's definitely going to pedigree Owens. It looked more like he was just picking him up, which he was doing. And then instead, he kicks Seth in the gut, sets him up for a pedigree, looks at Owens. Owens looks at him wondering, what the hell is going on here? And Triple H pedigrees Seth Rollins, his now former protege. He looks at Kevin. Kevin looks at him. He says, pin him. And Kevin pins him. 1, 2, 3. And we have a brand new champion of the universe. The top guy in WWE, at least based on championships right now. The leader of the flagship brand of WWE. A guy who was told for years because of his look, because of his weight, would never even make it to WWE, let alone the main events. But guess what? He made it on the Indies. He made it in ROH. He made it in NXT in record time. He's done a hell of a job on the main roster despite his ups and downs, pinning John Cena, winning 2 Intercontinental Championships, having a Match of the Year candidate with Sami Zayn just a couple months ago. And here he is, Kevin Owens, now your new WWE Universal Champion. Triple H picked him up. They shook hands. He raised Kevin Owens' arm in the air. Owens did a phenomenal job of looking shocked, and obviously he was emotional because this is a great moment for him. He deserves it. The crowd even chanted, "You deserve it."
Absolutely.
Great crowd. But just the shock. He sold the shock of Triple H helping him so well. And then afterwards, Scott, you pointed out something to me. Not only did he yank that Universal title out of Mick Foley's grasp, because he's probably not a Holy Foley or Frank the Clown fan, and who could blame him, but he also gave an interesting look to Stephanie, right?
Yes. Kind of like, no, this is what you get, deal with it. I mean, that's, I guess, the best way to put it. But they did a great job of selling it to each other. It's very interesting.
And she didn't look too pleased. She looked confused.
She looked very confused. And I talked to you real quick off air. The only issue I had with this is that Stephanie and Mick allowed Triple H to basically do what he did at Survivor Series a couple of years back by hitting the pedigree on Roman, getting into the ring, standing in the ring for about 30 seconds before he did what he did to Seth. That was my only issue with that. I don't remember it being a no DQ match.
Oh no! Well, they said it could only end via pinfall or submission.
Okay, but still, I mean, that would be my only issue with it. It kind of had that aspect. But...
My only other issue would be the fact that Triple H pedigreed Seth, and Owens just pinned him. But if you look at it from like a true heel perspective, even though Kevin Owens was definitely not the heel tonight,
no.
Okay, from a heel perspective, if he was a guy that people actually wanted to hate, it gets him more heat because he had to have his boss. His body do all the dirty work. And that sets up the rematch where presumably Seth is a babyface or something or another. I mean, I don't even know where they go from here. It's very interesting. I mean, I hope they have some type of direction. I did not expect Triple H to be back this soon either.
No, I expected it to be Brock Lesnar, but the way the crowd was reacting, and I know it's just crowd reacts, whatever, but Triple H and Kevin Owens were not the heels. Not at all. This was more Mick Foley and Stephanie being the heels.
They were the biggest baby faces, my God. And man, I could not believe it. And it was cool to see Triple H and Kevin Owens embrace, for that brief moment too, because Triple H gave Kevin Owens that chance at NXT. And if you told me that Triple H or anybody from WWE would have even given Kevin Owens a chance to succeed on the main roster, I'd be like, I don't know about that. But you know what? Listen. Say what you want about Triple H, and there's a lot you could say, good and bad, great and bad, but the guy has done a hell of a job with NXT. He's done a hell of a job when he's gotten the opportunity to develop talent. That Roman Reigns feud, that was suspect, but Roman Reigns was damaged long before he ever started feuding with Triple H, that's for sure.
Yes.
And, yeah, man, Triple H, Kevin Owens is his guy. And I understand in real life, too, that they're pretty tight, and Triple H respects the fact that he's a great family man and a hard worker. And listen, if you're a wrestling fan or know anything about wrestling, how can you not respect Kevin Owens and the work that he puts in? He is a truly great worker. Other minor complaint, I really wish Sami Zayn was in this match, even though I know they want to keep away Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, just because of the fact that Sami Zayn won that feud with Kevin Owens, and you'd think that would warrant some kind of title shot, you know what I mean? Even if it's for the U.S. title, which, you know what, maybe they'll do now since Roman Reigns got his ass kicked by Triple H.
Yeah, I guess it looks like the Roman Reigns-Rusev feud is gone.
That did wonders.
I tweeted this out right away, just to set up some type of quote-unquote invasion angle with NXT now. It kind of looks that way. I mean, yeah, Big Cass was eliminated and had nothing to do with it, but... I mean, where else do they go from here?
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is that if you do like an NXT takeover of Raw, as much as I would love to see like Nakamura and all these guys on Raw, I really feel like SmackDown needs more of that boost.
Well, they do, and we know that, but the problem is Vince loves Raw, and he's going to put everything he has into Raw.
Well, the good news is in less than a couple weeks, we may get AJ Styles as the world champion, which we may be able to make up for it. On top of the fact that SmackDown is 2 hours long, and it is an easy show to watch, honestly. It hasn't been that bad since the first
and the
episode.
ratings for SmackDown have been steady, too.
Yeah, exactly, and it's an easy show to watch.
And everything, yeah.
The first episode was kind of cringeworthy of the new era, but it's been pretty good every week. I wouldn't say phenomenal or anything, but if they get a phenomenal world champion, hey, we'll see. Now, for those that don't know, AJ Styles beat John Cena at SummerSlam, beat Dolph Ziggler on SmackDown this last week, and he has earned a title shot against Dean Ambrose on the SmackDown-only pay-per-view Sunday, September 11th, WWE Backlash. I expect AJ to win. God bless Dean Ambrose, but they've been booking him like a goof. He's had some good promos. He's carried himself well for the most part, but this last week where he was dressed as like a cowboy in the Mohegan Sun. Just brutal. I mean, even your dog in the background was shaking its head when I was talking about Dean Ambrose. I mean, his title reign is starting to lose steam. I don't necessarily blame him. I blame creative. I blame the fact that his last challenger was Dolph Ziggler, who nobody cared about in Brooklyn, unfortunately. But it's time for AJ Styles. When you got a wrestler the caliber of AJ Styles, performing still at his age at a high level, he just beat the biggest star in your company clean as a sheet. You know what? You got to give him that gold strap. And lastly, God rest his soul. May he rest in peace. Mr. Fuji passed away on Sunday, age 82. Not only was he one of the all-time great managers in WWE history, but he was a multi-time WWE Tag Team Champion. Yes, he was a wrestler. And a former IWGP Tag Team Champion with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So a true wrestling legend. They had a great video package, talking about Mr. Fuji's impact on the business and his memorable moments with Don Morocco and Fuji Vice. Just very classy on WWE's part. And while we will recap the rest of Raw on Tuesday night's podcast, just real quick, if you have Raw on your DVR, if you're seeking it out on YouTube, maybe some of the clips on WWE's YouTube channel, check out Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. That was an awesome match. And while I'm happy to see Chris Jericho getting a good push with this great new heel character he's got, I do hope something's in store for Neville. Maybe the Cruiserweight division, because he really is way too talented to just be languishing in the mid-card, but that's just my opinion. So overall, while the show kind of dragged, it ended spectacularly. Hopefully, they don't book Kevin Owens like they booked Randy Orton when he was Triple H's guy in 2013. If you don't remember that, well, put it this way. Randy had a whole lot of non-title losses, and that did more to get over Triple H and unintentionally Daniel Bryan than it did him. So hopefully Kevin Owens does not suffer the same fate. But for tonight, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to celebrate. Maybe I'll play some WWE 2K16 and throw some pop-up power bombs all over the place. Scott, anything else before we sign off?
Let's hope that they keep the belt on Owens for a little while. I think they have a potential here to set up Finn Balor coming back in January at the Rumble and possibly winning it as a surprise, and him and KO could main event Mania. That would be pretty awesome, I think. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's the best way to put it.
Hell yeah, man. It's going to be great. It's the KO era, and I am loving it. But, folks, I want to hear from you. What did you think about Monday Night Raw? What do you think about this recap? Let us know. Leave a comment below. Tweet us. Facebook us. Do what you got to do. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, take care, subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play. You name it, we got it. Until next time, everybody, as always, enjoy the matches, and congratulations, KO. As the fans told you tonight, you deserve it.